Hi everyone, Sandra here. And today I was thinking about how it's that time of year again where everybody starts spring cleaning, and I'm doing the same thing. So I suppose that's why I was thinking of it. But a lot of times when you're spring cleaning, you start throwing stuff out or just having stuff you want to get rid of. And I'm doing that too. So it's one thing to look forward to during spring cleaning and stuff is yard sales. Now, I love going to a good yard sale, but I don't like having them. Paul and I will go back and forth almost every year about should we have a rummage sale or not, because like I said, I love going to them, but I loathe having them. Whereas he loves it. He loves everything about having a garage sale, and so most of the time we don't have any. But if we do, then Paul's in charge of it. But anyhow, there are other ways to sell your stuff without having a garage sale. And I'm sure you know of at least a few of them. But today I kind of want to talk about two in particular, Facebook and Craigslist, because those I think are the two that most people know about and that most people use the most often. I know I do. And I like using both of them because, instead of doing a yard sale or something along the lines of that, because you can just sell one item if that's what you want. You know, a lot of times you don't have enough stuff for a yard sale yourself, so maybe you go in on one with your friends or your family or something along the lines of that, and it's just this big, production. At least that's how I feel, getting everything set up, signs and pricing everything and tables, and it's an all-day affair, sometimes a few days, stuff like that. So sometimes you just want to get rid of a few things, and they're still really good, useful items, so you don't want to throw them away. But you don't necessarily want to truck a whole carload to the thrift store either, especially if they're in really good condition and you paid a good amount of money for them. So you'd like to get a little bit something back. So that's kind of where I'm going with this today. I have a few things, like I'm going to show you one thing right here, and I think this is really cool, and I think someone's going to really want it, but I just can't use it anymore. And I hope you guys can see this. I'm going to lift it up a little bit. See this thing here? I don't think they even make them anymore, but it's not that old, so I'm not sure why they don't make them anymore. But Coleman's makes this, and it is a propane cooker. It doesn't say slow cooker, even though that's what I'm sure everybody who bought it thought it was, because it doesn't act like a slow cooker, and in fact it cooks really quickly, and so you have to watch it or you'll burn your stuff. We learned that the hard way the first time we used it. After that it was cool. But anyhow, like if you're going camping or going on a picnic or almost anywhere where there's no electrical hookups or whatever, this is a good thing to have. Just take some little bottles, of propane. I think they're like a 1 pound bottle, and you're good to go. It's got, I think, a couple different settings on here. It's been a while since I used it, but yeah, this is something that is hard to find. I even looked it up because I was trying to figure out what I should price it at, and the only place I could find them were on eBay, and the price ran the gambit. So I guess it's just, what is somebody willing to pay for it then, But anyhow, so it's stuff like that that you may want to sell as opposed to just giving away. So I sold on I bought and sold a lot on Craigslist over the years, and you probably have too. I even bought a car off of Craigslist, and we sold cars off of Craigslist. But over the years, it's been getting more and more dicey, a little more shady, on Craigslist. And a couple of things I don't like about Craigslist, when I lived in the city, or still near the city, and that would be Milwaukee. And when I moved out of Milwaukee, I still only moved like an hour or so away at the time. And the bigger the city, it almost seems like the less people want to drive. On Craigslist, you have a lot of exposure. If you're in a city area or whatever, there's like thousands of people going there every day checking out stuff and whatever. But I feel like if they have to drive more than 10 minutes, then they don't want it. They don't want to do it. And, you know, I had quite a few people, and I had some really good stuff on there saying, you know, like, oh, can you drop it off? Can you this? And it's like, no. And then, Lord forbid, you get outside of the city, then no, that you're really out of their comfort zone. And so they don't want to really travel for stuff. Maybe if it's a really higher priced item and you got it priced super good, they'll do it. But I don't know. And with Craigslist, I feel like Craigslist isn't really the best option for people that live rural, because Craigslist hooks you up with like the bigger nearby cities, and I get that. I understand why they do that, but then it clumps people in that can be very far distances away from each other, and so I don't like that aspect either of Craigslist. And I don't like how you can't really check people out whether they're buying or selling. There's a lot of trust involved in Craigslist. So that's why I have been turning far more to Facebook, and so has Paul. And there's two different ways you can really sell on Craigslist, Facebook, and you can actually combine them too. And what Paul and I first started doing is we would join local groups. So if, let's say you live in the city of Nowhereville, you can go onto Facebook and right at the top of it, you know, where that little magnifying glass is, you can do a search for local buy-sell groups in Nowhereville. Or you can do it to a town that's near Nowhereville, or you could even do regions. You can do like here in Wisconsin, we go by counties, and I know other places do like parishes and stuff like that. But you can broaden it, so you can go by the county, and then you can even do like regions. So you can be like southeastern Wisconsin or something along the lines of that. So I really like that. You'll get a lot of different groups popping up then, and these people are local, so that's really nice. You know, when you're looking for something yourself, it's nice that you can go and find local people that are selling it, and you already know off the bat you don't have to drive 50 or more miles to try and get that item. Plus, I feel like on Facebook there's a little bit more accountability, because you can see who that person is who you're selling to or buying from. And usually when someone will click on your item, let's say, and usually they're gonna private message you, or they can respond directly on your post. But if you click on their name, a box will usually pop up that will tell you how long they've been on Facebook, and some of them even have seller ratings and stuff like that. So it gives you a little bit more of, I guess, like a safe feeling, knowing that they are on Facebook, and you know they're part of this group, and it's a lot more different than just somebody on Craigslist who you're not seeing them. You most of the time don't even know what their name is, and you maybe get a phone number or an email. So I really like Facebook that way, all the Facebook groups. But you can also sell on Facebook through Marketplace. Now Marketplace is pretty much set up the same way as the local groups. It's just you can click it. If you go to the top, and I'm saying all of this going off of the desktop because I do most of my computer work off of my laptop. So if you go up to the top, over to the right, I think there's a picture of a little building or a shop or something like that. You can click on that, and that is Marketplace. And they will show you everything that's up for sale in the Marketplace. And they do it regionally. So most stuff that's local to you will pop up right away, but they go a little bit further around. Say, for instance, when I click on it, I will get stuff from pretty far north in Wisconsin, which is not close to me, or in Minnesota. And usually I'm not going into Minnesota to buy something. But I'm just giving you an example of how far they'll do it. I think like 80 or more miles away. Now you can sell stuff directly in the marketplace. It'll say, what are you selling? And it's very simple, very easy to do. You pop a couple pictures, you say how much you want. You know, it's not a hard process at all. And you can sell it directly that way. But if you're selling in local groups, when you go to post that, Facebook will pop open another box and say, do you want to sell it in Marketplace? In Marketplace, you'll get more views. And it's still everybody who's on Facebook. It's just they're spreading it all over the whole region. So it's kind of tricky there. I always hit Marketplace, you know, because I want the most amount of people to see it. And when they do see my ad or post, they'll see right away my direct area, and they'll know if they're far away from that, they'll know just to move on and not even, you know, bother contacting me. They don't want to drive that far. I don't want to drive that far. So it's okay that way. The thing is though, sometimes when you're posting directly in groups, like I belong to 4 of them, because there's 4 of them that are very near to here, not everybody will post to the marketplace. So you may not get all the results that you were hoping to get if you're, say, typing in you're looking for a lantern or something, and you only see 1 or 2, and you're thinking, wow, you know, out in this area I would think there'd be more of them. Well, some people that are posting them in the groups aren't posting them to Marketplace. And so I feel it's still beneficial to you to belong to some of the local groups and sell, you know, through the local buy-sell groups and the marketplace as well. Now if you're selling something really expensive, like say a car, or you know, some really expensive electronics, or something along the lines of that, personally I would do both. I would do Facebook and Craigslist. But when you're doing stuff on Craigslist, you know, we've all seen some bad stuff go down because of Craigslist on the news and whatever else. Take precautions. Be cautious about where you're meeting people. You know, don't ever do it at night. And if it's something worth a good amount of money, if at all possible, do not do it at your own house. You know, meet somewhere else if you can. And if it does have to be at your own house, and even sometimes if it isn't going to be at your own house, make sure to take other people with you. Do not go alone. You know, so Craigslist still can be a good place to look for stuff. I like going on Craigslist. I found a couple of different farmers nearby that were selling eggs because I don't have any hens. So I liked it for that, and I'll still, you know, look around, and you can still get some good deals, and there still are good people on Craigslist. But I just feel that, you know, for everyday people wanting to get rid of common everyday items or wanting to buy common everyday items, Facebook is really, really the place to do it. And I know there's other apps and other things out there, so why don't you let me know what you use and what your experience has been. And it'd be nice to hear about it down in comments so that you know, we can all learn from it. So anyhow, I hope I helped you out. I hope you know, this was a little bit informative of you. Maybe you never sold on either one of them before, and you know, this kind of gave you a little bit of information on both of them. Anyways, I gotta get to listing stuff and selling stuff. It was nice talking to you guys. Make sure to subscribe if you're not a subscriber already, and thumbs up if you liked the video. It was nice talking to you, and you take care.